Hello, my name is Scotty Van Horn, and I am the marketing specialist with NFCYM. And I'm here joined today with a very special guest for our NCYC El Camino the Way vlog, Brother Dan Rey. Welcome, Brother Dan. It's great to have you here. We're going to be hearing your vocation story today. And fun fact, Brother Dan had attended NCYC in 2019.
Hello, Scott. It's an honor to be here, and thank you so much for this opportunity. So, once again, I'm Brother Dan Rey, and I'm an OFM novice, Franciscan friar. I grew up in Chicago, and I'm currently a novice at Mission Santa Barbara in California.
It's great to have you here, and we're very grateful for your time to hear about your vocation story. So could you just give us a brief overview about your time with the Franciscans and just what your journey has been like so far?
Sure. So, I received my calling around December 6th of 2019 to consider religious life, and that was just a few weeks after NCYC, which took place in November. After a few sessions with my spiritual director, we decided that the OFM Friars was the best place for me to start my search of discernment for religious life. But as we all know, in 2020, COVID hit and other personal struggles that I was going through kind of extended that process of discernment and me applying and entering the friars. I had been inspired to be a missionary and do some mission work with the friars. So before actually entering formation, I did some work with the Franciscan Volunteer Ministry, serving at St. Francis Inn in Philadelphia. So it's pretty much a soup kitchen that serves the poor community there. So I did that for about a year. And then in August of 2022, I started my postulancy program in Silver Spring, Maryland. And then in July of 2023, I started my novitiate here at Mission Santa Barbara, California.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I
Yeah.
noticed you mentioned that attending NCYC was part of an influence on attending and making the decision to pursue this vocation. Can you elaborate more on that, how NCYC influenced your decision to join the religious life?
Yeah. So before NCYC, I have to admit, I was a little bit broken. I came from a broken family, had been through a lot of broken relationships, and honestly, just had a really broken grace with God. And, I had a tough time seeing God's blessings in my life and feeling God's love. And I was kind of losing my sense of purpose. I kind of felt like a lost sheep. And I would ask myself, where's my shepherd? Where's the shepherd that comes and finds me and rescues me? So I started to look into the teachings of Pope Francis. And one of his inspiring teachings was that, he gave us three truths: that God loves you, Jesus saves you, and Christ is alive. And I had a really hard time believing those three. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel like, okay, gee, where's Jesus? When is he going to save me? And I was like, alive, in the world that we were living in. It's like, where is he? Where is he alive? So, ironically, or thanks to the divine providence, the theme of NCYC in 2019 was blessed, broken, and given. And that theme really touched me because I learned so much. I was able to learn about those truths. Blessed, that I am blessed to have been uniquely created because of God's immense love for me. Broken, I was broken by the world's high expectations and rejection that led to sin and pain. But given, I was given a purpose, a purpose that I had to live out, a vocation. And as one of the keynote speakers, Sister Bethany Madonna, said perfectly, we have to learn to say yes with all that you are and all that you have. And that really touched me because I was like, what do I really have? I don't think I have a vocation. It's just I was lost. And at the end of the NCYC, I felt liberated. As Father Agustino Torres, one of the hosts that year, said, "Yo soy libre porque él me ha librado." I am free because he has freed me. And I honestly did feel freed. I felt freed from that doubt, and I have felt freed from that fear of living a Christian life. And the NCYC really helped me to be open to hearing God's call and accepting that I could have a vocation.
how amazing is it that attending 5 years ago had such a impact on the life that you have now that you've said yes to the calling? And I think that's amazing that the theme perfectly tied in to giving you that reminder that you're blessed, broken, and given. And to just remember those specific quotes too, that really shows how that did have a profound impact on you. Were there any other mentors or leaders who were there with you at NCYC that also helped influence you in any way in deciding to pursue this vocation?
Yeah, I was really touched that I think this year was the first year where Pope Francis gave a specific message for the people that were going to attend this NCYC. And I just want to quote a little bit about what he said that really impacted me. He said, "May it, regarding to our faith, light your missionary hearts with courage and strength to live in and with the Lord always. As church, we are sent forth. We need to go out to meet each person as it is our mission to do so." And he says, go and take the Lord with you to bear witness of the tenderness and mercy of Jesus. And I know around that era or that time period, Pope Francis was really focusing on being missionary disciples and what it meant to go out and to encounter God through service. And I was very uplifted by that. And just the spirit of hearing that NCYC and the high spirits and energy of all the key speakers and all the cheering of all the youth, was really kind of pumping me up to go and live out this calling that Pope Francis was calling all Christians to do. And at the end of NCYC, I was very touched by the closing mass with Bishop Charles Thompson, and just one of the way how he started it all was by saying, "Viva Cristo Rey!" Like, and then everyone was screaming, "Viva! Long live Christ the King!" And he really reminded us about our baptismal, when we were baptized. We're baptized as priests, prophets, and kings, and we're all called to do that. I just want to quote real quick what he said. He said, "We are anointed as priest, prophet, and king. As priests, we are to be instruments of holiness. As prophets, we are to proclaim the good news of the gospel in both word and deed. And as king, we are to be faithful stewards of all that is true, beautiful, and good, using one's gifts generously and wisely for the sake of God's kingdom." Me hearing that was just like, wow, I have purpose. I didn't know exactly who I was, these years ago, but it's just like, I am a priest, a prophet, and a king. And just like, and I'm called to do all these amazing things. And then, hearing the amazing story of Immaculée, about her learning to forgive after having lived a genocide, and then just hearing, the anecdotes of Mark Hart, another great person, and just his love for the presence of God in the Eucharist. I remember that Eucharistic adoration was just very powerful. Just having that strong message, how much we depend on the grace of God, was something that really impacted me during that NCYC.
It's really beautiful. I think you really serve as just a great example, brother, as someone who was able to attend NCYC and receive that call and respond to it and live it faithfully in the vocation that you've now pursued, which is amazing. I think that's a great example to all young people and just anyone in the church that, we all could do that in finding that call and living it. Were there any other insights or lessons that you witnessed from attending NCYC that personally helped you to live your life as a Franciscan brother?
Yeah, I want to quickly quote scripture. It says, "Truly I say to you, unless you change and become like children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven." And I just saw so many great examples of the youth at NCYC, just reminding me that children are innocent and they have such pure intentions. They're curious and they love to ask questions, and they're brave to take risk to come to events like this. And as we grow up, we become corrupted, we become so individualistic, and afraid to make bold choices. But I really needed that youthful spirit to, unlock and reestablish my pureness of heart, to strengthen my prayer life, and to just be brave to discern a serious vocation. And something I really enjoy from NCYC is just the whole trading of hats, of sharing and being open. And I still have my hat. I want to show it to you. It's this hat here of that I traded, and that inside I wrote "The Blessed, Broken, and Given." NCYC 2019. Because, I just love that whole aspect of trading and pinning people and with clothespins with positive messages. It just alivened my youthful spirit to want to live out this vocation. And I think that that's the important thing about religious life, just realizing the characteristics that you have and how you can share that and just be open to sharing that with a kind and open heart.
That's very well put. And I love that you still have the hat. That's really cool. And it just shows like the impact that NCYC had for you.
Yeah.
Of course, there's going to be another NCYC happening again this November, El Camino the Way, to show the teens that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. What message would you like to give the teens who are going to be attending this November, that whether this was something that you wish you would have heard when you were there as a teen in 2019, or just something that you know now to really inspire and uplift these teens? What would you like to share with them?
Yeah, one of my current mottos is to listen humbly and then speak kindly and then act boldly. We are going to enter NCYC, and you're going to realize that you want to change a lot of things, either in your prayer life, in your own life, in your families, or in the world. You may be called to be an activist of some sort, to do a service, but just need to remember first to just listen humbly, speak kindly, and then act boldly. And something that I really enjoy from the Franciscan tradition is one of the last words that Francis said was, let's see, I have done my part, may God teach you yours. So in a sense, we we want to live up to an expectation, either that is given to us by our parents or society or our friends, of things that we want to do, but they have done their part. May God teach you yours. And I think it's also important to have holy friends. I think when you're in NCYC, you may be going with the friend group, and maybe some of them may not want to be there. But it's just, if you really want to be there, find people that also have that same mentality. And sometimes don't let your friends that are not wanting to be there, or that kind of got dragged into it, kind of ruin your experience. So this experience is about you and your conversion. Don't let other people ruin it for you.
Thank you for sharing that advice with those who are going to be attending. And thank you so much for your time today to share your testimony with us. And what an amazing blessing it is that NCYC was able to serve that role in helping you just affirm and find that vocation, and what led to you being able to now say yes to your calling that you found. So thank you for your yes. And it's just amazing to hear your story and to be able to allow this to be shared with others who may be inspired, who are going to attend this November, who maybe perhaps find a calling for their vocation as well this November, which we'll be praying for. So thank you very much for your time, Brother Dan. And we hope to see you all this November, November 14th through 16th in Long Beach, California for NCYC El Camino the Way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.